I'd like to welcome Laurie Roue, the grandson of William Roue, Jean Robinson, the granddaughter of William Roue, and Joan Roue, William's great-granddaughter, to the stage, please. David Fleming's thorough biography of William J. Roue in the Hall of Fame magazine at your seats tonight mentions that William was a grandson of a soft drink manufacturer in Halifax. Bill probably would have been a wealthy man had he remained in the business in which he was involved for several years until his love of boats and complete understanding of designing them dragged him away from the family business. His great-granddaughter, Joan Roue, who you'll meet a little later along with Bill's grandson, Laurie, and granddaughter, Jean, tells several stories about the man on whose knees she sat as a youngster.
My fondest memory is sitting in a rocking chair with him and just spending time with him. And at that point in time, I really didn't know that he was anything special. He was just my great-grandfather.
Now, Joan has the rocking chair in which William sat with her and his drafting table, the one on which he designed the world-famous Blue Nose, and also a desk marked and scratched as it was when Bill owned it. Joan has written a biography of her great-grandfather, A Spirit Deep Within. Her research, discussions with relatives, including her father and grandfather, revealed that Bill considered the Blue Nose just one ship of the more than 200 he designed.
He propelled Nova Scotia certainly into the forefront, and Canada as far as that's concerned. The sailboats, not only Blue Nose, but the sailboats that are still sailing today are still winners in their classes, and he's globally recognized for that, but he never owned a boat. He was an avid sailor, and quite often he was called to the helm of sailboats in races, and his help very often brought them to the finish line first.
Joan says the Blue Nose was no more special than any of his others, except its success allowed him to pursue his dream of designing boats rather than working in the soda pop factory. During school classes at Halifax Academy, Bill would be drawing yachts rather than paying attention. He left school at age 16 and, while working during the day in a grocery store, took night classes in mechanical drafting at the Victoria School of Art and Design, which is now the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design. Bill was earning the princely sum of $100 a year, but used $10 of it to join the Royal Nova Scotia Yacht Squadron, another 16 to purchase a book on yachting architecture. Such was his desire to learn and his devotion to boats. As a 4-year-old, Bill began making toy wooden boats and even asked his father to help him put outside lead ballast on a toy boat he'd built, which was a concept rarely used at that time. By age 13, he built his first 5-foot model sailing boat. He became a master skipper at the squadron before he was able to become a member. In 1909, his first designed boat, Babette, was launched, but it was 11 years later when he received a contract to design a fishing schooner to contend for the International Fisherman's Trophy. He called it Design Number 17. It was given the name Blue Nose and launched in Lunenburg March 26, 1921. That fall, Blue Nose won the trophy, the first of many victories that would bring fame to William J. Roue. He continued to run the family business with his brother Harold until the firm was sold in 1929, and Bill pursued a professional career in naval architecture. He designed boats for John Molson and John Deere. One of his great accomplishments was designing a sectional barge for the British government during World War II, barges on which Allied troops landed at Normandy Beach on D-Day. All of those barges were built in 5 shipyards in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. What is amazing about this man and his life's work is that boats designed up to 80 years ago have lasted so long, considering the new technologies available. Yet Roue's boats are as revered as they were in the days they were shaped.
Everything that he did was mathematically calculated in his head and on paper, and all of his drawings, there were no computer aids in the drawings that he did. Everything was by hand.
William Roue, a self-taught engineer. William Roue appearing on a Canadian stamp. His best-known work, The Blue Nose, will always be so as the subject of one side of the Canadian 10-cent piece. William Roue, who could have made tons more money operating the soda pop plant that bottled Coca-Cola in Halifax, but he followed his dream. He is a member of Canada's Sport Hall of Fame, and now William Roue is an honored member as a builder in the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame. Presenting the Hall of Fame certificate to Joan Roue, Laurie Roue, and Jean Robinson is Senator Wilfred Moore, Chairman of the Blue Nose 2 Preservation Trust. To present the Hall of Fame pin is Captain Wayne Walters, grandson of Captain Angus Walters, the first captain of the Blue Nose. Actually, tonight we have Ken Bell presenting the pin. A thank you to Ken. So, Laurie, tell me, what are your memories of Granddad?
The biggest things that I remember with Granddad is you never know when he'd call, if he was going to Bedeck or going to Sydney or going down the South Shore, and backyards and checking boats, and you don't know where they were building, but people's backyards everywhere. Just big boy, little boy, get on down with the big boy.
So even you as a little guy then knew he had a love of boats?
Oh yes, definitely.
Plenty obvious, huh?
Oh yes.
I'll move over in here and just ask Jean a similar question. What about your memories of your granddad?
Well, like my brother, we did travel around with him periodically and inspecting fishing vessels and so on that he had designed and would go around and make sure that they were going to be up to shape.
And did some of the love he had rub off on you and your family?
Well, not exactly, no.
He was the master, right?
He was the master, that's
Indeed.
true.
I'll move in the middle here and talk to Joan just for a second. And you've written the book, and obviously you had some great comments there during the presentation. Anything that people might not know about your great-grandfather that is of interest to you to this day?
He was a very humble man, and I think that's the thing that certainly inspires me and everybody that I talk to. He was just Bill, and as I said when I spoke there, I think in your script, Blue Nose was just one of his designs. For him, it obviously propelled him to great success, but something that gained such recognition all over the world, you would think a lot of people would certainly ride that wave.
And
No
you,
pun intended.
no, it was a very good pun. I wish I thought of that. You were great-granddaughter, and yet you still have memories, don't you?
I do. I was very young when he passed away, but I'm also very fortunate that he only lived half a mile from where I grew up, and my dad used to take me to visit him on a regular basis. So, I have very fond memories of that.
Well, thank you for sharing them tonight. Laurie, Jean, and Joan, a special thank you. William Roue, now a member of the Sport Hall of Fame.